Yes, now bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. There's ROCKSTEADY. Get a load of that. I've been resisting scranning on these during the listen through because I know the racket it's going to make. This is a cheddar cheese twist. Get a load of that. Incredibly bland, incredibly dry, incredibly tasteless. Where's the cheese? I got no dip. I got no dip for my cheese dip. For my cheese twist. 85 pence. In this economic climate, you can't go wrong, really. Not just for the one. I got a fair amount of cheese twists, to be honest with you. The packaging probably cost more than the 85 pence itself. We just listened to a recommendation upon the Patreon by my good friend James. James has hit me with a curveball on this one. James, how did you come into this channel? What music in particular was it that led you to this channel? Because this is so... There's a beautiful foundation laid upon the grounds of genuine music, right? And that is, even though it may be of one specific genre, of another specific genre, of one type, of another type, we, especially on this channel, reside in the space of the, you know, underground per se. We don't really work on the demos that no one's listened to, because who gives a shit about that? No one wants to talk about that. We listen to bands that have established some ground, have created some degree of market, but they are not necessarily of the mainstream, generally speaking. They are alternate acts. They are not of the mainstream caliber. So whether you are a death metal band, whether you are an indie band, you know, a guitar rock indie pop band, whether you are, you know, of whatever, it speaks to people who are genuinely into music, because to source out these acts is an act of defiance to the mainstream. An act of defiance to the taste makers that make you forcefully participate within the consumption of that which is. Which, if we delve into the realms of frequencies and how that can actually psychologically harm you and degrade you as a person, that's where my conspiracy channel is going to take us. Don't worry. I'm not going to start a conspiracy channel because it's not my intention to annoy those who make the rules. Now, I've been sipping on a night cider, so you know this listen through and this resolution to the album, this overview is going to be to some degree a little more carefree than that which would be guarded upon a complete sober self. I came across Godspeed, and this album in particular, if not the other album, Lift Your Skinny Fists Like Antennas to Heaven, which I only know due to the fact it's in related videos through the 4chan forum music. When I was a teenage youngster, and you know, I used to frequent both Mew and Fit for the fitness, the health and fitness forum upon that site. And the people on Mew, the hipsters, the indie lot, would always, whether memeified or genuine appreciation, put forth this act, discuss this act, and, you know, engage with references to this act. That's as much as I know about this band. I could have touched on this band back in the day if I had chosen that route, because I ended up downloading music from Sun and Neutral Milk Hotel and the like, so I was just one click away from checking this act out. I don't know whether I did or didn't, to be honest with you. It wouldn't surprise me if I had a song by them back on the iPod back in the day. But this album's got 3 songs. songs isn't the right word to use because we're not singing. When we sing a song, that is a song. When we are approaching a track in song structure traditionally, that is a song to me. So let's call these 3 pieces 16 minutes 28, 17 minutes 58, 29 minutes 2 seconds long. Extensive, long form. I would argue that this album is a piece upon itself, you know, breaking it into 3 separate sections, into 3 separate tracks, aids in giving you some, as the consumer, some degree of navigation as to where you're going and where you want to be, but as a whole, it's one piece. Why wouldn't it be, you know? We in and out, we fade in and out, track, about 5 times each and every track, introducing a new element, modulating into a new key, creating a new atmosphere. So it's no different to the changing of a track, you know? From the Dead Flag Blues to East Hastings is no different to the Dead Flag Blues Part 1 to the Dead Flag Blues Part 2, you know? It's all coherent, cohesive, and it flows from A to B. This is a record that owes a lot, if you like it, to the sound engineer as much as the performers. Because between you and me, as a musician who can noodle around a particular key, you can create this via an elevated connection with your bandmates through a jam. Not a written piece, but through a jam, through a picking up of the guitars and so in that sense, the sound engineer, to portray this as a fully composed and dialed in professional constructed piece as a whole, has to be given some respect. The effects, such as the reverb, the tremolos, the delays, are to be given as much respect as the actual human performance upon the strings and the percussive and the so on and so forth. Atmospherically, we're very moody. You know, we don't really err upon any positive value emotionally for long. 85% of the record is quiet, spooky, depressive in nature. I didn't pay attention to the samples. We must have had 4, if not 5 different samples, vocal samples within this record. I didn't pay attention to it. If there was some sort of what's the term? Concept record. If there was some degree of concept to the album as a whole, I didn't pick up on it because I didn't care for the samples. I don't give a fuck about some guy just like being sampled unless it's striking, unless it's evident. I just want to hear the music. I want to hear the harmonies. I want to hear the melodies. I want to hear the rhythms. This isn't for rhythm. This is for atmosphere. It's an atmospheric record. It's a soundtrack record. It's a music sync record. It's a music to film record. It's a bizarre showcase of production and creativity. It's wild. And I'm ever so fascinated as to how this band was chosen to be known by the people, by the masses. That's not to say that it's not worthy of such, but who comes across this record, this art, and then promotes it to a degree where we have such a fantastic cult-like following in relation to other bands that are producing, you know, experimental and progressive material? These are questions a guy who's into punk rock and metal music and pop music would ask. And blues music and ska music and rap music, you know? Why? This is my fantastic first insight into what is considered post-rock, but I don't know what post-rock is yet. If this is considered post-rock, this is crazy to me, because this errs more on what I would associate with ambient and would drone be the wrong term to use? More than likely. But you see where I'm coming from? This is going to be an impossible record to rate because of my absence of understanding of the sounds that circulate around this. I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 6 because it grows on you. This would be a 7 given I played this on record in my space and meditated upon it so many times around. This is a slow burn. This isn't something you can just put on and click from the get-go. There has to be a deeper understanding. And in a way, I adore that. I adore that. It's not presented to you. It's not given to you from the get-go. It's a great project. I'm not going to give it a number, but I'm going to arguably rate it more as far as the project is concerned. My experience, my listen through, my knowing, my understanding, my know-how, my baseline is a 6, but I know the future's bright with this. On that note, I'm signing out. One love to my man James. Peace.